In this lesson, we are going to learn the initial lab environment that you need to create. Your instructor has already executed a CloudFormation template in the account given to you by AWS, and that CloudFormation template has created a virtual private cloud with the CIDR block 10.0.0.0.16, and in two availability zone, it has created two subnets. These subnets are public subnets that can route traffic to the internet. And what you're going to do is to start an EC2 instance with Windows container support in one of these subnet. And this instance, you need to attach a special IAM role called my container host role. And that has enough permissions to invoke certain activities or actions on Amazon ECS and Amazon ECR. You also need to attach my container host security group, which is created as part of this CloudFormation provisioning, and that will allow you to RDP into this instance. You are not allowed to run any instance type. There's only a specific types of instance that you can run on this environment, and we have limited the permissions in a way that you can only run those instances. These instance types and the Amazon machine image to use in this lab environment is given in your lab document. So let's see what we can now do and to start this EC2 instance. Using the credentials given to you and the URL, log into AWS console. Type your username and password. These are given to you as an email or through a paper slip. Once you log into AWS console, make sure you are in the right region. The region to use is given by your instructor. You don't have access to any other region than the region given to you. First, go into CloudFormation and then inspect what's the CloudFormation template the instructor has already executed. So if you go to the CloudFormation, you can find there's a CloudFormation template called Basic Lab Setup that has been executed. This has provisioned some resources. If you look at the resources, you can find that there are some security groups, IAM roles, and VPC and subnets and routing that is created for you. We are not going to spend time learning them because we expect you to have some AWS knowledge already. If you go to VPC, you can find there is a VPC called Contoso VPC that is already been provisioned, and we are going to use this VPC throughout our exercises. If you go into EC2, what we are going to do now is to create a key pair to log into an EC2 instance. So go to key pairs and then create a new key pair. In this case, I'm going to say something like my secret key and save it at a place that you can access. Make sure that you keep this secret key in a good location where you can access regularly. I'm now going to start an Amazon EC2 instance. Go to instances. You already can find that I have a key pair created. Go to instances and then click the launch instance button. By default, when you are running containers, Amazon has already provided you with an Windows image called Microsoft Windows Server 2016 base with containers. This is the image that you are going to use. It has the Docker features already installed. But in this lab environment, you need some additional tools like 7zip and Firefox. So if you go to the My AMI and click the Shared with Me button, you can find there's a special AMI being shared with you. If you don't have this, let the instructor know and select that Amazon machine image. The image to use is given in your document. You cannot run any instance type, so you need to select the instance type allowed. The type of instance types allowed are given in your lab document. And then select the Contoso VPC that has been created as part of the cloud provisioning. So you can find that this Contoso VPC that has been created as part of the CloudFormation execution. Select something like availability zone 2. You need to have a public IP to remote login into that. Make sure that you select an IAM role called myContainerHost role. So this role has permissions to execute certain commands on Amazon ECS and ECR. Everything looks good. Go to the next step. Keep the storage as it is. Go to add tags. You don't need to add tags. Go to configure security groups. You can select existing security group with the proper RDP ports enabled. So if you select one called myContainerHost security group, you can find that it has the RDP ports enabled for you. Select that and then go to review and launch. So everything looks good. Click the launch button, and when you are launching it, make sure that you select the key pair that you have just created. So accept everything and then launch the instance. After a moment, if you go into your EC2 console, this instance, you can find that it's starting. You can give it a name, something like Dew machine or something like myContainerHost. So this is the lab machine we are going to use throughout this exercise to manipulate Docker containers and learn some basic Docker commands. So give it a name that you like. And if you find that it's right now in initial state, it takes about a few minutes to start that instance. So once that status changes to green, you can remote login into that. Mind you, you need to leave some time. So if you try to retrieve the password immediately, you will get a message like that. Give it some time, about a few minutes until the password is available for you. So I waited a few minutes, and if I go and then try to retrieve the password, you will get the prompt to select your secret key. So choose the file. So you need to select the secret key that you saved in your local machine, and using that secret key you can decrypt the password. Select this password. You are going to log in into Windows machine using the administrator account. So what you need to do is to copy that password, download the RDP connection, click connect, and then download the remote desktop file. And once you download it, you can just click connect and then type the password that you recovered using your key. Click OK, and then you will log in into the Windows machine. Since you use an instructor shared Amazon machine image, you may be wondering what additional tools you have in this instance. The instructor has created this image based out of Amazon provided Microsoft Windows Server 2016 with container image, and it has some tools like Firefox, AWS PowerShell tools already installed. To begin with, I'm going to start PowerShell as an administrator. For most of the Docker commands, you need to run PowerShell as an administrator. So once you start PowerShell as an administrator, I'm going to run a small test to check whether the Docker is properly installed and working fine. So if you type docker -- version, if it gives you the Docker version running, you are in good shape. So in the subsequent lab, I'm going to use this lab machine or myContainerHost to run some Docker commands and learn different ways that I can manage containers. So let's move into the next lab.